Good morning, Flor. Well, in this class, we are going to see transition words. So let's see an example. In this picture, you can see two ways of using transition words. So in the first sentence, it says, Susan wanted a cake, is one statement. And then it goes, she wanted ice cream. So she's saying basically that she wanted cake and ice cream, right? One way to use transition words, such as but or also, are this other way. So instead of putting a period between two statements, we can use this transition word. So let's see. Susan wanted cake, comma, but she also wanted ice cream, period. So in this example, we are putting a comma to separate the two elements or things that she would like to eat. But we are also adding these transition words such as but and also. Okay, so that's basically today's topic. So let's see another example. This is a sentence, right? Let's see how it looks like in a paragraph. So I hope you can see this part. So basically here is telling, well, it's describing a little paragraph. So let's take a look. It says, in this paragraph, I'm going to discuss a few reasons why I'm going to discuss a few reasons why practice is important for mastering skills. So it goes, firstly, comma, the only way to truly learn a skill is by actually doing what you have to do in the real world, period. Secondly, another linking word, right? I think practice can be a fun way of putting the necessary words, period. There are, however, comma, some people who will disagree. Then it goes, because it's putting order, right? Firstly, secondly, thirdly, and most importantly, it goes, it is said that people tend to remember only 10-20% of what they read on their or hear. Moreover, comma, that number rises to as much as 90% when you put theory to practice. Period. In conclusion, following up explanation with practice is key to mastering a skill. Period. So we're seeing a paragraph, a short paragraph, which is using many linking words or transition words, which help us to put many ideas together. There are different types of transition words. For example, first, second, thirdly, they are talking about order. However, it's talking about contrast because they're mentioning one thing and then they're going the other way. Therefore, they use however. Most importantly, is putting emphasis in an idea, and moreover, it's adding information. No, it's basically like also. And finally, they have this transition word, which is a short summary, but then in conclusion, to conclude with, to finish with, no, it's ending the idea, and then they finish the whole idea. It's finished by with a period, right? So that's basically what we have to learn today. So, hello, Flora. I was explaining the class. I didn't know you were going to join me.
Teacher, I'm so sorry. Maybe you can continue and then I would watch on the recording.
Yeah, no worries. You can stay if you want to. You can, oops, or you can watch it later. That's up to you. I just started anyways. So you let me know. What do you like to do?
You can continue.
All right. You're going to stay, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I was just starting to explain this paragraph, which it has many linking words or transition words, which are called such as firstly, secondly, however, thirdly, most important, moreover, in conclusion. Each of them, they have a specific use. So for instance, when we put firstly, secondly, thirdly, we're talking about order, right? Because it's putting order in many ideas they're explaining. Then they go, however. However is a word that shows contrast. So it's saying it's mentioning an idea and then it's going the other way. No, however, no, it's showing contrast. Most importantly, is a very common transition word to use when you want to emphasize something that's important, right? It goes most importantly, and then they mention a name. Moreover is another transition word that helps us to put to emphasize an idea, not to sorry to add information. Maybe we're mentioning something, no, and then we add another characteristic maybe or an idea to that whole sentence, and then we go more over. And finally, in conclusion, it's transition or yes, transition or linking word that help us to conclude with whatever you are explaining or talking about. Right? It is like to finish with, to conclude with, right? In conclusion, and then they close the whole idea or part. So basically that's today's topic: transition words, and phrases. All right. So this topic is quite easy. We're just going to learn to recognize many different transition words. All right, so maybe you can help me reading this part, please.
Okay. Writers use transition words and phrases to improve coherence and guide readers. Readers use transition words and phrases to determine how the writer has organized the material and to improve their comprehension.
Mhm.
There are a number of categories of transition words.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So these transition words are for both, right? For writers, when you are organizing your ideas, right? But for who? No, someone is going to read, right? So readers use these transition words to identify the transition words to understand better, right? The organization and also to try to understand what they are writing or they are reading, right? So let's see the first one. They're called signal words. And these are used to indicate that the information is especially important. So let's see, could you read the list of words, please? Thank
This, that, these, those, one,
you.
form of adjectives, safest, greatest, highest,
Mm-hmm.
main, especially, kid, principal, moreover, distinct, and indeed, major, central, still, naturally, finally, vital, despite, chief, of course, at any rate, above all, primary, just as, significant, even though.
Then we have should be. Then we have most. Should be. When we use should be with any of these adjectives, it's implying importance. No? Should be remembered, should be noted, should be observed. Also, most important, most noteworthy, not most obvious. And also not only, and we can mention an idea, no? And then we go, but also, and then here is the important idea, no? So these are signal words, right? They just help us to indicate that something is important. Did you recognize any of these words, sir?
Yes.
Right, so you probably use them at some point, right? However, when we're writing, they're very important. No, when you want to mention something that that you want to be noticed, no, that's especially important. So for example, in the little example in the paragraph, we have finally, right? And moreover too. And I think that's all. Okay, so let's continue. The next type of transition words. And these are illustration words. Let's read the explanation, please.
Illustration words indicate to the reader that examples or illustrators will follow to clarify, define, explain, or develop an idea or a generalization.
Exactly. Thank you very much. So illustration words, any words that help us to exemplify or give illustrations, no? And this help us to clarify, define, explain, or develop an idea. So every time we use, for instance, for example, we're adding an extra information, no? So the reader can understand what we are saying, right? So let's read the illustration words, please.
That is to say, to illustrate, such as, for example, especially, specifically, as when, for instance, the following as.
So did you recognize any of these illustration words?
Yes.
Okay, which ones?
To illustrate, for example, such as, for instance, the following.
Yes, thank you very much. So they're very common, right? We use them all the time, and in writing are very important when we're explaining something, and maybe the idea may be a little bit difficult to explain sometimes. So we can use an example to clarify or explain an idea. Okay, so let's see the next one. It's order of sequence. So let's read the explanation, please.
Order of sequence words indicate that the arrangement of events, reason, issues, etc. is according to their order of importance. Emphasis order, or the order in which they happened. Chronological order.
Exactly. So basically it's order, right? We have that example in the paragraph, right? We have firstly, secondly, thirdly, right? But these are many words that help us to put order. Could you read them, please?
First, especially, and personally, ultimately. Second, before, finally, from, to, most important, key, despite, there, whenever, then, after, until, here, when, vital indeed, meanwhile, next, secondly.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So here we're saying again, no words that help us to put order. Sometimes they have like topic, no? So for example, these words are like very similar, right? They form of the therefore they form parts, sorry, of the same logical idea, right? It's like numbers, right? Ordinal numbers, first, second, third, right? Sometimes they have the same topic. So let's see another one. Well, there is not another one, but sometimes we can go like in one hand, then we can go on the other hand. We can also go like the first one, right? Instead of just first, we can say firstly, secondly, etc. And that's the idea, no? That we find words that help us to put order when we're explaining something. For example, you know that you're going to explain 3 points. So your first point should start with first, the second one with second, the third one third, and when you're done, basically, you can say ultimately, when you're finishing the idea, or some other linking word similar to this. No? So any questions so far, Claire?
No, it's okay.
Okay, great. Thank you. So let's continue the next one. Addition words. Words help us to add information. Let's read the explanation, please.
Addition words indicate that the writer's idea will continue in the same direction with more points or details added.
Mhm, mhm. Let's read the explanation, the examples, please.
In addition, moreover, furthermore, also, another, again, next, other.
Excellent. So I'm pretty sure that you also recognize some of these addition words. Basically, all of them means the same. It's to add information. No? If you recognize the meaning of also, all of these words means the same. It's exactly the same. No? In addition,
Okay.
moreover, no, it's adding more. Furthermore, same thing. Another, no, it's also. Again, another. Next. No, all of the words means the same. They might have different meaning because we're talking about order, right? However, it's easy to recognize them, no? But in this example, too, in illustration, words, all of them means the same, it's the same logic. All of the words means, for example, they're just used or writing in different ways. But all of them means, for example. Same here. All of these words means also. All right? Any questions, Fleur?
No, teacher, it's okay.
Okay, great. Let's see the next one, comparison words. Well, they're saying that they compare words signal with similarity, right? Signal is like explaining, no? So let's see the examples, please.
Similarly, comparably, each can be compared, likewise, alike, both, same, just as, so, also.
Excellent. So yeah, they are, so you may understand this would indicate. Yeah? They indicate similarity. So similarity means like they are similar, right? They have a similar idea, similar meaning, similar order, right? So all of the words means the same logic, no? Similarly, comparably, each other can be compared, right? Both, same, alike, likewise, just as, also. In this, no, it's the same logic. All of them means similarity, or we can use them to talk about two ideas that are similar. All right, so let's see the next one. These are contrasts. If you remember, I mentioned this word because it's very common. No? However, it's showing contrast. Let's read explanation, please.
Contrast words signal the opposite view or change the direction of a previously stated idea. They may signal that the writer may slightly alter or modify an early statement.
Great. So they're indicating what? They're indicating a opposite view or a change of direction. So this is very common when we're saying something maybe positive or negative, and then the other idea is going to be the opposite. So let's see an example. Sometimes this is a little bit harder to understand. So I slept very late last night. So you might think of a result of this. No, I slept very late last night. Now you can think, oh, this person is sleepy, is tired, maybe they are in a mood, right? You can think of many things when someone says something like this to you. But if you go then, however, then this idea is going to change. However, I feel good this morning. So I'm saying that despite that I didn't sleep very good last night, I'm saying, however, I feel good this morning. So it's putting an opposite idea, right? You might think, oh, well, they're tired, but I'm saying no. However, I feel good this morning, even when I slept late last night. So that's what the use of contrast words. All right, let's read the examples, please.
However, despite, more than, one, the other, some, others, then, now, still, although, less than, but, while, in contrast, even though, on the other hand, different from, neither, nor, nevertheless, instead, conversely, yet, each, either, or, were areas.
Excellent. And also, this is like, we always use this to compare, right? When we add, for example, big, bigger, or small, smaller, right? These are comparative adjectives. So, for example, I can say bigger than, no? So I'm comparing one thing to another thing. And for example, one saying this is better than, I don't know, my dog is bigger than, no? Just an example. But I'm making, I'm contrasting two words, right? I'm saying this is one way and this other thing than my cat. So they're opposites, right? I'm saying they're bigger. It's bigger than my cat. So I'm making this contrast, these opposite ideas. No? So most of the words have exactly the same meaning, right? However, when we have this type of words, we are basically putting the first idea here, and then we add the second idea here. For example, one, and you are explaining no one idea, la la la, and then you go the other, and then you're putting contrast, right? One or some, no some. We can talk about people or one person, maybe. No, some people think that sleeping late is good. Others, no, others think that sleeping late is bad. No, then lo mismo, no. Then back then, no, back then in the past, no. Then people never watch TV. Now they watch TV all the time. No, it's the same logic. So it's the same logic with all of them. Neither, nor, either, or. But basically all of them have the same logic to contrast one idea to other one. All right, so any questions here, Flor?
No, it's okay.
Okay, great. I'm glad to hear. So next one, we have cause effect words, sorry. So basically here we are using or talking about cause effect. Remember as if, no, we use this a lot in the last class, in the last model, right? Cause and consequence, cause effect. So it's the same logic. Let's read some examples, please.
Because, when, as a result, from, to, then, whenever, consequently, if, then, since, thus, therefore, until, after, him.
Mhm. Excellent. So, for example, if is one of the most common cause effect words, right? If I we can say if I would eaten less, then I will be feeling better. Hmm? So I'm using if as a cause, right? If I'd eaten less, then consequence, I will be feeling better, right? So it's basically the same logic. Now you have one idea, and then you go that is maybe a cause, no, something that happened first, and then you go because, and then you introduce the second idea, which is the consequence. Mm? So do you understand this one, or you would like me to explain a little bit more? Sorry, I cannot hear you, Flor.
Sorry, it's okay, I understand.
Okay, great. So it's not really that complicated. No, it's usually most all of them, besides these two that they have this the logic that I just explained. No, all of them means because. That is a because, the cause and consequence. All of these words have the same meaning. All right, they just written differently. All right, so let's see the next one before the class is over. Summary words are very easy to use. Usually they go at the end of the statement or the idea or the paragraph. And then usually they introduce or they mean conclusion of a topic. Sometimes they indicate the most important point, or and they can go usually they might go, no, at the end of a statement or a paragraph, like I mentioned. All right, let's read the examples, please.
Finally, therefore, to summarize, to conclude, in brief, to repeat, to sum up, ultimately, last, hint, most important, to retire, last of all again, above all in conclusion.
Excellent, thank you. So all of these words basically means no, finally or to summarize or to conclude. No, so not usually we put them at the end. It means conclusion. However, sometimes indicates the most important point. No, no, you were talking maybe about many things, and then the most important point you leave it at the end, no, and you go finally. But this that is just something. All right, so let's see the last one. Oh, this is the next, well, that's a summary of all of the uses. So let's see how they are used. When do they put them? Where do we put these words? So let's make it bigger. And we will finish with this one. So now these are some examples of transition words, and these are the use of these words. So for instance, if we're talking about sequence, no, we're saying that this happened first and then we go after. Right after is putting both ideas together. Same logic with the same word, the next word, no, provide. It means if or only if, no, cause consequence. So they can listen to music provided they disturb nobody. So it's the same logic. We have two ideas and the connection word goes in the middle to put them together. Same logic here. No, it doesn't matter where, basically, no matter where. So they can go whenever they want, no, in the middle of the two ideas. So all of them are used in the same way. No? Also, so, which is, if I'm not wrong, we've seen it in prepositions too, I believe. No, same logic here in the middle of the two ideas, rather than, unless. And since it could be used as a result, usually we can start with some of uh, um, the connection words that show order. Let me go back for a moment. Not usually the connection words. So sorry. Usually connection words are in the middle, right? But sometimes they go at the end. When do they go at the end? When we are putting order, no? When we're talking about order, first, second, third, no? They go at the beginning of the statement. And when we have a summary words, we can also start with the transition word. However, in the rest of the words, usually goes in the middle, right? Because they're putting ideas together. So that will be it, Flor. I don't know if you have any questions, something that is not clear.
No, I think it's very clear.
Okay, no worries. So I know it's a lot of information. However, now comes the fun part. So we're going to practice. How you're going to practice? You're going to review your two paragraphs. Oh, I left it like that. No. So I wanted to show you the mistakes. No. In this statement, you goes in different ways. This experience changes your thoughts, style of life on. It's not necessarily. This word is not necessarily on. Just general, right? Social life. So we can take it out. And here it's usually we put commas after or before some of these linking words or connect transition words.
Okay.
So same thing, for instance, in the trips, we might need also a comma to separate the ideas, right? Because we can take out, remember, sometimes we can take out this idea. That's why it goes between commas. And finally, travel. A travel is not correct. It will just be travel, a journey, or trip. So we are just going to take A. Okay, finish, travel. Recently finished. So what's the exercise or homework for next class? So you're going to use, you're going to review and read your 2 paragraphs again, and you're gonna try to put some of transition words. So you use some of them, here already, right? For example, then you have a third reason, right? But it's not very clear, the first 2 reasons. So for example, you can fix that, right? You can put more clearly the first or firstly, no, or the first reason, the second reason more clearly, so we can understand. Maybe you can use another one instead of example. You can use, no, lo voy a decir en castellano para que se entienda bien. Lo ideal cuando hacemos trabajos o escribimos textos académicos, lo ideal es no utilizar palabras o conectores muy comunes. Por eso siempre se sugiere, en lugar de escribir and o but o because, usemos cualquier otro conector. For example, es muy común. Entonces, en lugar de ese, podemos buscar en la lista, que yo te lo voy a poner por aquí arribita el link de la presentación, para que uses otro. Tratemos de usar siempre conectores que no son tan comunes o tan usados, ¿no? Un poco más, más formales tal vez. So, entonces you're going to read your first and second paragraph, and you're going to try to use as many linking or transition words as you can. All right, so that's all, Flor. I'm not sure if you have any questions.
No, it's okay.
All right. So remember, no, let's try to kind of like get something like that. So we have maybe order, but we have some well, we don't have examples. No, we are adding information, conclusion, but you can use it in any way, right? All right, so Flor, maybe you can try to finish this until Sunday evening, so I can review a little bit, and then you will, well, we will continue with next on next class. All right?
Okay, with the same link, right?
Exactly. Yes, it's the same link, and I'm going to put the link of today's presentation here. It's going to be the same because it's the same presentation, right? But va a estar actualizada. But it's going to be with all the information, the new information here. All right. So
Okay.
that will be it, Flor. Thank you very much. Let me run today's polls. And have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. ¿Le salió el polls? Flor? Sorry. Okay.
No, it's okay. It's
Yes, it's done. Okay. Thank you very much, Flor. Have a good day. See ya on Sunday.
Thank you, teacher. Bye.
Bye.